that, what he's really meaning to say is that, she's got the establishment has her like a blue dog Democrat. But it's like, are you seriously just, saying that you hope the first black woman Republican gets choked and she's like a dog? Like, are you really saying that, people? Like, think about what you're saying. And just this vitriol. These people, I voted for her and she didn't vote the way I wanted and I voted her in. And it's like, you realize that her district was held by a Democrat before her. So not 100% of her district is anti-Boehner Republicans. She has to represent her entire constituency. It is impossible for any member of Congress to 100% represent 100% of what their constituents want at any given time, especially when 50%, a little less than 50% of the people who voted her in are Democrats. And then the 52% who voted her in, 100% wanted Boehner out? I doubt that. Didn't care? Probably a much larger percentage. And yet they act like this was the platform she ran on. Like, she said nothing else except, I'm going to vote Boehner out, and then completely went back on that.
Well, and again, as you said earlier, who was the great alternative candidate there? Really? I mean, look. I like Louis Gohmert. He wasn't a serious candidate. He wasn't. And if you're going to challenge someone, you need to do what Scott Turner here in the great state of Texas is doing. And what Scott Turner, who is for some reason, I'm having issues with getting Liz connected. I don't know why.
Want me to try to add her?
Yeah, you tried to add her. For whatever reason, anyway, Scott Turner, he is a state representative here in Texas, and he is running for Speaker of the House. And he's running for Speaker of the House against Joe Strauss, who has been accused of being a statist. He's accused of being a liberal, and it depends on who you talk to on that. It really does. But if you look at it, Scott Turner announced his run for Speaker of the Texas House last year.
Right. Not 3 days before.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't Gowdy kind of, who was it? Was it Gowdy that have been trying to push him into something, and there was like a failed attempt to run for speaker or something last year, but it was like, it wasn't a serious campaign. I mean, that's like 3 days before the primary, announcing you're running for president. Like, it's just 3 days, really? It's not serious. I want headlines. Pay attention to me.
Yeah.
And it's a dumb way to get headlines because it just gives the left all kinds of fuel.
Well, which they certainly took, because there were, what was it, 5 non-Boehner votes, I think.
24 and then
24, okay.
And one present.
And one present, which we'll count it as 25. But all of the headlines were massive revolt against leadership in the House.
Biggest revolts of like the 1920s.
Right, except, yeah, well, fine, it may be the biggest revolt, but you're still looking at, 10%.
No.
It's like, you're making a big deal about this? Really? 9%?
Yeah.
I do wish, though, that with this, though, I really wish 2 things were true. Number one, that they actually had gotten more more anti-Boehner votes. And then going along with that the speaker election would actually be by plurality and not by absolute majority. Because then our wonderful new Republican conservative victory would have elected Nancy Pelosi as speaker.
By the way, we did have a question from Felicia Cravens, which I think is a legitimate question. She said, why are two libertarians talking about what a RINO is or how conservative the GOP is?
Why aren't we talking about how conservative the GOP is?
No. Here's the question. Why are two libertarians talking about what a RINO is or how conservative the GOP is?
Okay.
I will. As someone who is a registered Republican, I will address that. First of all, the only reason why I'm a registered Republican is because there are only two-party primaries in Pennsylvania. So if I want to vote in primary elections, I have to be the member of a party. I would try to embrace the term RINO for myself because, yeah, I am a Republican in name only. I don't like much of what the party actually does. And, again, looking at their record, not so much their rhetoric, although their rhetoric is sometimes suspect as well. I much prefer saying I'm a RIRO, Republican in registration only. But if the Republican Party actually acted more like it talked and actually did things to reduce the size and scope and spending of government, Republican. So, yeah, that's why somebody who leans more libertarian is criticizing the Republican Party for their lack of conservatism. Fair enough?
That works for me. I mean, me personally, the reason why I'm criticizing them is I'm not criticizing RINOs. I'm considering, and I hate that term, by the way. I really do. But I'm also going after the people who all of a sudden decided that, oh my gosh, all these people are traitors. Gowdy, Mia Love, whatever, are traitors because they decided that they weren't going to, or they decided that they were going to vote for John Boehner instead of voting someone like Louis Gohmert or Ted Yoho, however you say it.
Yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum.
Exactly.
That really should be his campaign theme.
Yes. And by the way, yes, the stream is a little shaky. It has to do with the net ping going up and down and up and down. I think that the true conservatives are going after us, Allan.
Could be.
It is a Spreaker issue for those who are wondering. When it cuts out, it's when the net ping hits 200 or over 150. But it just seems
massive latency.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me on this vitriol and anger. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah, no, it's just insane to me that how angry people got and how they defended their anger by saying, well, we voted them in and they've let us down. And yeah, I've had people being like, well, what are Boehner's qualifications? Really? Time served as speaker, time served in leadership positions,
and a record. And a record which is substantially more conservative than the history of the Republican Party.
Yeah. And, he's done things that haven't been good to conservatives, but he's had to cut deals and he's cut too big of deals. But, what are the alternatives? There weren't real alternatives.
Clearly, if they just had, put Louis Gohmert in, all of our problems would have been solved during the 114th Congress. I mean, they'd have passed everything. Wouldn't have needed to compromise, particularly in the Senate, with Democrats on anything because, the filibuster would just magically disappear. And because we had a true conservative Speaker of the House, President Obama would then be too scared to veto anything. So we'd get everything we want, and America would be fixed, and we'd have the Constitution fully back by the 2016 election.
Oh, and so many new people would want to join the Republican Party because they would see it as a serious party of serious people that is not at all crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We're all going to get unicorns, too.
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for, honestly.
I only want a unicorn if it shoots bullets out of its eyes.
That'd be a Second Amendment unicorn. I like it.
Exactly.
All right,
Not lasers, bullets. I want bullets.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, I gotta get out, guys.
Well, that actually worked because we're going to hit the bottom of the hour, so we have to take a break. Ash, thank you very much.
Thanks for chiming in, Ash. It's always good to talk to a fellow trader.
Yeah. Well, in reality, I'm moving to the right. Remember, liberal woman reporter, Rhino in name or only. I'm moving a little bit more rightward.
Yeah. Now, of course, we'll probably get the commentary and maybe even a meme or two. So why is it did she leave Heritage?
Too lefty. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Well, it's just another sign that you're a traitor,
Right.
Because Heritage
she
can
went
do
to
no
work
wrong.
for the Washington Examiner.
Yeah. That known bastion of liberal thought.
Please. You can follow Ash Scow at Ash with an E. Scow, SCHOW. You can follow her on Twitter. You can also read her stuff in the Washington Examiner. Ash, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll be back right after this. This is Real RINO Radio with Taylor and Allan here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. Back after this. Here's just a sample of what you can expect when you listen to Amanda and the Edge of Anarchy Monday nights on Vigilant Liberty Radio.
So freedom and liberty can actually help the state. Take marijuana, for example. If we legalize it, we should force Congress to smoke it. I mean, can you imagine the outcome of that? Hey, Senator Reid, I got a great idea. Let's just not tax Taco Bell. Leave them alone. Maybe they'll, take a taco and put it in your burrito and...
That's the Edge of Anarchy with your host, Amanda, Monday nights at 9 on Vigilant Liberty Radio.
Hi, this is Jason Dibbler, co-host of Q with a View, heard every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on FTR Radio. Right now, FTR needs your help in making the jump into the 21st century through some long-needed equipment upgrades. This is where you, the great and loyal listeners of Great Conservative Talk Radio, can really lend a hand. Visit GoFundMe.com/helpupgradeFTR right now. Your assistance, no matter how small, will help to ensure that FTR can continue to offer some of the best conservative radio on the interwebs. Your donation of $50 gets you up to 60 seconds of airtime on FTR radio 4 times. For $100, your ad will run 10 times, or if you don't want to run an ad, you can have 30 minutes of FTR airtime to talk about anything you want. There are other thank yous for other levels of giving as well, but those are some pretty great offers. We hope you'll consider making a small donation to help keep quality conservative talk radio alive and thriving on the internet. Visit GoFundMe.com/helpupgradeFTR today. Thank you.
My name is Dustin Hoyt from America Our Way, and you can hear me and lots of great other original shows right here on Vigilant Liberty Radio.